What's up, guys? This is Will Witt with PragerU. Today we're joined by Selina Soule, who was one of the top 5 best sprinters in the state of Connecticut, female high school athlete, but she has a story that is kind of unbelievable, to be honest, and when you hear it, you're going to think it's just as wild. So to get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself as well as what that story was?
So I started competing in track and field when I was 8 years old. My town was putting on some meets for the kids, and I decided to sign up for it. And both of my parents did track when they were growing up, so it was natural for me to get into it. And from the moment that I stepped foot on the track in my very first race, I fell in love with the sport, and I have stuck with it ever since.
And so how good were you at the sport? Because obviously, being in a sport like track, it's very competitive. I actually did track. You might be able to beat me in a race. I don't know. We could test that out later. But I did track before. It's a very, very competitive sport. How qualified were you and how good were you at the sport? Like how dedicated to it were you?
I am very dedicated to my sport, and when I got into high school, when I was a part of a official team, I was practicing every single day after school for multiple hours, and I was putting in a lot of effort into my training, and I was able to achieve several school records, several conference and state titles, and even some regional titles, as well as being able to qualify for the national championships for high school.
Which is incredible. And so you had to sacrifice really a lot to get there. And then there were the races that happened where 2 transgender females, or I guess males who became females, or how so they say. What happened with those races?
In the races where I had to compete against biological males, they completely dominated the race, and no girl stood a chance.
And so what was the long-term effects of this that you saw within your community of having these boys come in and compete against females in sports? Were people upset by this, or were more people in agreement with you that this is ridiculous?
Many people were in support of me, and they knew that it wasn't fair, but most people didn't have the courage to speak out. And it was not only purely the sports related issue of being able to having the transgender athletes break state records and meet records, but also the emotional effect on the biological females that had to compete, because we train to win. We don't train just to get second place or third place. And it's very frustrating and heartbreaking knowing that no matter what you will do, you will never be able to beat them and never be able to win.
So do you think that these transgender males should be able to compete against females, or why would you say that that's unfair from your experience?
There are great biological differences between male and female, and in sports, it should be the physiological differences that should prevail.
What I find the most just craziest about this is that women on the left continue to say that we have to support women, they're doing these amazing things. We have to support everything they're doing, and they should be successful. And then instead of trying to lift them up, they take their men, and put them into women's sports. It's like they can't even handle all the virtue signaling that they're trying to juggle around at the same time. It's like they're defeating the purpose of what they actually went out to achieve.
It's certainly a very complex issue, and there is no black and white answer. But what we hope to gain from this is for fairness to be restored to not only track and field, but all female sports.
And so you actually have a lawsuit with ADF concerning this. What is the lawsuit? How is that going? And what are you hoping to achieve, really?
So we are hoping to enact a better policy for the state of Connecticut, where biological males will still be allowed to compete, but fairness will be ensured for the females, the biological females.
And so what does that mean exactly? Does that mean that someone who was a female or a man and then became a female will still be able to compete against you, but won't be able to qualify for certain things? Or what does it mean exactly? Will they have to then compete against males, or can they still compete against females?
I don't know what the best policy is, and it shouldn't be up to me to figure that out. It should be up to the officials in the governing bodies to figure it out. But what kind of my job is to bring awareness to this issue and ask for fairness and ask for those better policies.
And what kind of of support are you seeing from people? Are you seeing a lot of support when it comes to this? Are you seeing mostly pushback and being called transphobic and a bigot? What do you see mostly, and what would you expect for the turnout of this case?
I see a good amount of both. In person, I see more support, and people will recognize me in stores or out in public, and they'll come up to me and thank me for speaking out. And but on social media, I see a lot more hate, and I don't know if it's because the people kind of gain a little confidence boost, hiding behind a screen. But I've seen my fair share of both. But I only focus on the good because I know that what I'm doing is right, and to me, all the negativity does not matter.
That's a wonderful attitude to have. I
Mm-hmm.
wish more young people in America had the same attitude as you. And these cowards on social media come and say horrible things about us online, but if they actually saw us in person, they would never say anything. It's because they can't actually battle against our ideas. They just want to say nasty, horrible things online. So it's really cool what you're doing, standing up for that, because I don't think a lot of people would stand up because, again, they're too scared of what people are going to do to them if they stand up and speak out, of being called a bigot or a transphobe. So for you to actually go and do something, and as well as be in our latest 5-minute video with PragerU, is really cool. So
Thank you.
yeah, I want to really thank you for that. What are your plans for the future now?
So I am competing in college. I am attending the College of Charleston, and I hope that I can improve my athletic ability and hopefully be able to go to the national championships. And of course, the ultimate goal would to be a professional athlete and go to the Olympics. But we'll have to see how college goes before that. But that's the
Yeah,
ultimate goal.
exactly. The ultimate goal is going to be when you race me in a 400-meter dash, and we'll see who wins. That's the ultimate.
Make it a 100, and you got it.
Okay, fair. I used to run the 800, and that was, oh my goodness, I hated the 800. It was the worst race, but it was fun. It was a good time. Made me have strong legs. Now I'm a weak, fat, quarantine type of guy. So anyway, I want to thank everyone for watching, and thank you so much, Selina, for coming on and chatting with us today. I think your story is incredible. Where can people find out more about you and your case?
I think that the ADF website would be probably the best bet, but I also do have social media, and my Instagram is selina.soul.
Awesome. Follow her there. Keep updated with what's going on. Send her your support because she needs it. A lot of people in America need support right now. Push up conservative voices, push up voices of people who are being brave. And once again, thank you, Selina, for joining us today. Check out her latest 5-minute video on PragerU.com. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching this video. PragerU is a 501c3 organization. Help us keep our videos free by making a tax-deductible donation today. I'd really appreciate your support.